A man who allegedly faked being a member of the Rockefeller family is accused of murder. Our legal guys are back. Avery Friedman in Cleveland, Richard Herman in Plantation, Florida. All right, gentlemen, this is a fascinating case, isn't it? I'm going to dare try to pronounce his name, Avery. I know you've nailed it. Christian
I got it.
Gerhard Strider. Is that right?
Got it.
Okay, well, he wants to be known as Clark Rockefeller, even as he's now facing charges of murder. And this involves a case that spans, what, 26 years, Avery?
Yeah.
How did this come about?
Yeah,
he went from, standing trial for faking his identity to now facing murder charges.
Yeah, actually, he was in jail for kidnapping, believe it or not. This guy's got more aliases than Newt's got wives, I'm telling you. In California, his name is Chris Chichester. In Massachusetts, his name is Clark Rockefeller, because he wears an ascot, you see. He's still in prison, but he's facing a grand jury probable cause hearing coming up on whether or not he murdered a fellow in California 26 years ago. And the question on a case like this, it's a vintage cold case, and the question is whether or not the judge will say there's sufficient evidence in California for the case to go forward while he's still in prison in Massachusetts. Okay, and that is the key, Richard. Is there sufficient evidence? We're talking about the bodies of two people that were found underneath a pool, a swimming pool. This happened to be the location that he once rented a place to stay.
Yeah, Fred, the standard here for this preliminary hearing is whether or not there was substantial evidence that a crime was committed. It's a very low standard, and if the judge finds that, then a trial date will be set for him. Meanwhile, his kidnapping charge, his prison time ends halfway through 2012. So if they bring further charges, he's going to have bail and everything else. But when you bring a cold case, Fred, 26 years old, the DNA is degraded, witnesses' memories are faded. It is a very extremely difficult case to prove. And whether or not they have enough sufficient evidence to prove that case beyond a reasonable doubt, a much higher standard, is really questionable at this time. I don't know that they have it. Time will tell.
All right, fascinating case. We'll continue to watch it, won't we? Because it's really just at the beginning stages. All right, Avery, Richard, always good to see you. Thanks so much.
Hey, Fred, I salute your dad and all the Red Tails.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, they're an extraordinary cadre of men, all of those Red Tails. We're going to talk more about them. In fact, after decades of trying to get the Tuskegee Airmen story to the big screen, filmmaker George Lucas does it with that movie named Red Tails. It opens this weekend and stars Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. among them. Talking about his role in the film, we'll take you to a private screening with Gooding and some of the airmen.